how an engineer survives Chernobyl's first night. At 1:23 a.m., you jolt awake in your dorm room as a dull shockwave bumps the window and a strange blue light hangs over Reactor 4. You grab your bike, sure it's just a transformer fire, and pedal through Pripyat under cold moonlight and that weird glow. Then near the bridge, you see black graphite blocks on the road. Wait, really? Reactor core graphite is not supposed to be outside ever. That means the heart of the reactor is open to the air. And if that's true, then what did you just ride toward? You roll up to the checkpoint, and the guards wave Alexei through with no masks, saying the core is fine and only the roof is on fire. Then you see men bent over beside a fire truck, throwing up on the wet pavement under the floodlights. After just a few minutes outside, a metal taste hits your mouth. Wait, really? That can happen before you even see the worst of the radiation. If the numbers are low, why are healthy workers already dropping? And what are they not telling you? You stare at the dosimeter, and the needle is jammed at 3.6 Roentgen an hour. That should calm you down, but it does the opposite because this cheap meter stops there. Wait, really? The number looks low only because it can't go higher. Then you remember the locked cabinet in the electrical shop, with a military DP5 inside. To get it, you have to cross a corridor scattered with black graphite chunks no one will touch. If 3.6 is just the ceiling, what is the real number waiting on the other side? You wrap your hands in wet rags and run through smoke to the workshop. One hit shatters the cabinet glass, and you grab the heavier DP5 and a paper plant map. Wait, really? The big older meter is the one that can read higher, not lower. When you switch it on by the blown-out service door, the needle snaps all the way right and stays there. That means the real radiation is far above the official numbers, and every second inside is burning time you do not have. You finally have proof, but can you get anyone to listen before more men walk straight into it? You push into the medical room and start sorting men by what you can see. Burns on one side, vomiting, red skin, and blank stares on the other. No one says radiation out loud, but you strip off boots and jackets fast, because taking off clothes can cut contamination by half. Wait, really half. The floor turns into a heap of wet leather and heavy coats under the white lights, and still the meter keeps clicking in your hand. Then a firefighter grabs you and says 2 operators are still missing by the feedwater corridor. Do you save the men in front of you or walk back into it? You crouch by the blueprint instead of running blind, then move in short bursts between concrete walls and pump blocks, checking the DP5 at every turn. The strange part is the safest spots are sometimes right beside the biggest machines, because the steel and water inside them can block some radiation. Behind a pump housing, you find one operator still alive, grab his canvas belt and drag him back through the steam. He gasps that the other man ran for the deaerator platform to pump water into the reactor at any cost. But if the core is already gone, what exactly is that water hitting? You hear hissing before you understand it. Water is pouring from broken pipes, running across hot steel, then dropping into the black hole where the reactor used to be. And that's the part that turns your blood cold. Water can be worse than fire here, because if it hits molten fuel, it can explode into steam with enough force to tear through the other units. That means the only way to stop this is below you, in a basement full of valves, dark water, and radiation. So do you go down, knowing the trap may already be waiting? You push into the control room, ready for orders, and hit pure chaos instead. Men shout over dead gauges, jammed phones, and blinking panels while supervisors still swear the reactor vessel is fine. Then Alexei slams a black graphite block onto a steel desk, and the room goes dead quiet, because graphite should be buried inside the core, not sitting in your hand. Wait, really? Graphite does not melt here, so if it is outside, the core is open to the air. And if that is true, what else have they gotten completely wrong? You stare at the reactor map, and every line says the core is still there. So the orders keep coming. Send men to the roof, pump in water, check from above. Then a black chunk of graphite lands on a steel desk. Wait, really? Graphite should only be inside the core, and graphite doesn't burn in water the way they expect. In 1 second, the whole plan flips from rescue to trap, and now you have to ask, if the reactor can be gone, which rule gets people killed next? You drag a red pencil across the blueprint, making your own danger map because the DP5 stops telling the truth once the dose gets too high. The weird part is the safest path is the longest one. 3 shorter routes would kill you in minutes. You circle one narrow line to the basement valve corridor, then stop when you see what sits over it, hanging pipes and black water on the floor below. If that water is already radioactive slurry, your only survivable route may already be gone, and no one can tell from up here. You pull Sergey and Leonid close and make it plain. No hero stuff, 30 seconds per stop, read the meter, and run back the second the number jumps. Then you step into ankle-deep water under Chernobyl. with steam in your face, pipe labels in Cyrillic, and flashlight beams shaking on wet concrete. The strange part is the water can look calm and still be carrying hot bits of fuel, so every splash matters. You follow the valves by name, burning seconds with each wrong turn, until Sergei's light hits one doorway and the meter goes off scale. So what is in that room? You grab Sergei before he yanks open the hot door, then run your glove along the pipe instead. The labels don't match the line. Wait, really? The old reroute swapped them, so the big valve in front of you is the wrong one. Leonid cuts power to the jammed actuator, Sergei jams in a wrench bar, and together you force the real feed line shut toward the wrecked reactor. The hiss starts to fade, but then a low rumble rolls up through the concrete under your boots. Did you stop the steam or wake up something worse? You hear the roof give way, and then the sound changes. Debris rains into the service yard, but the steam blast you feared starts easing because the pressure found a new path. Wait, really, a collapse just bought you time. Alexei grabs that tiny brake and pulls men off the hottest roofs, then sends crews to stack sandbags, slam fire doors, and stay tight behind concrete. For the first time, this feels like math instead of death, until the sunrise shows the smoke drifting toward Pripyat. You step to the roof edge and watch the smoke bend, not out over the forest, but straight toward Pripyat. Open windows line the blocks, and kids are already gathering outside to stare at the fire. Wait, really? The warm dawn air is pulling the fallout down where people are breathing. You grab the radio and call for iodine, buses, and orders to keep everyone indoors. The answer comes back flat. Wait for Moscow, avoid panic, maintain order. Inside the plant, one problem is solved, but beyond the fence, who stops the cloud now? You stop waiting for perfect numbers and grab a pen. You tape handwritten warning signs to steel doors, put men with a DP5 at every hallway split, and ban anyone from stepping where the meter screams. Even though radiation has no smell, no color, nothing you can trust with your body. Senior staff in suits and helmets push back, because every blocked corridor means pumps, valves, and cables might be left alone. If you're right, you save lives. If you're wrong, who takes the blame for the systems now running without you? By morning, you can see the split with your own eyes. The men you kept behind concrete are still standing, while the ones sent into open ground are vomiting, burned, and too confused to answer their names. The hard part is this: soap and water matter more than bravery right now. Wash fast, strip the clothes, cut the dust. Your rough rules, time, distance, shielding, decontaminate, work better than every shouted order around you. But many of the men you warned are already too far gone. And now one question hangs there: who gets pulled back next and who is already lost? You lower the meter and look past the wrecked plant to Pripyat, and the city is still waking up. Windows open, kids eat breakfast. The buses still have not come. Even though the air can kill you before it smells wrong, wait, really, radiation has no warning at all. Inside these fences, a few people lived because they read the numbers fast. Outside them, tens of thousands stand in the same morning light with no clue. So how many